Good morning, friends. Now we will begin with the fifth module or fifth unit of your syllabus, credit rating and venture capital. After understanding the non-banking financial corporations, and previous to that, many models we have discussed about the banking organizations and all that. All these institutions needs worthiness or trustworthy from the public should believe these organizations. As you know, any kind of a banking business or any kind of a non-financial institution's performance totally depends on the accumulation of funds. The accumulation of funds happens with most of the banking organizations and even with the non-banking financial organizations, what you call as financial institutions, is either through the public investments in the form of if it is a banking organization, the investments are made by the public in the form of savings bank account, current bank account, fixed deposit, recurring deposits, like that. Or if it is a non-banking financial organizations, investments are made by the public in the form of shares, debentures, or even in the form of any of the installment payments or any kinds of deposits, or even any kinds of investments in assets and all that. So for all this, the public trust is most important, because the performance of any financial institution in future is unpredictable to a common man or investor. They may not be able to understand whether the invested financial institutions will generate returns or not, especially in case of investments by investors in the form of mutual funds or in the form of shares and all that, are more worried about the returns, because in any of these investments returns are not guaranteed, except the savings bank account and fixed deposits. Returns are not guaranteed in any investments like mutual funds, investment in shares, investment in chits and all that. It's very difficult. But till then, the investors take a risk to invest only on the trust that the investing financial institution is well reputed and grows very well in the days to come. So, how a common man will understand whether the institution is worthy enough, it will grow or not? So it is very difficult. So self assessment is made by most of the people in the olden days using their logic in understanding the financial institution's quality, and then they used to take the decision to invest money, the past performances and all that. Nowadays, what happened? A separate credit rating organizations came into existence. That is what we call as credit rating agencies. These agencies' main motto is to analyze the abilities of the financial institutions which are taking investments from the public, and their financial performance is rated with a grade. So that is what we call as a grading of the performance of the financial institutions. So, this process of grading or evaluating the financial performance and assigning them a categorical uh, class is called as credit rating. So, this credit rating is made by the agencies, external agencies. So, in this model, we will discuss credit rating, and also a separate part is a venture capital. Venture capital is the capital required for the big business investments and all that. As a part of the as a part of the fifth unit in the first part, we need to discuss credit rating and credit rating first. In the credit rating, we will discuss meaning, process of credit rating, rating methodology, rating agencies, and symbols. And as a part of venture capital, a concept of the venture capital, features, process of venture capital, performance of venture capital funded companies in India, theoretical analysis. So these are the topics that we need to cover. Now let us understand the first part of the study, that is a credit rating, in this first lecture series of fifth unit. Here we will discuss what is credit rating, what is meaning, what is need for credit rating, and objectives of the credit rating. As I told you, credit rating is the most essential part today in order to create the trust among the investors. So an external agency is going to what you call as evaluate the performance of these financial institutions, and they declare a grade to them, like A grade, A plus plus, like that. This grading will be made. The public reading these grades will understand the abilities and create the trust in the financial institutions and invest money. So it helps to build the trust in the public by the financial institutions. That is, most of the financial institutions voluntarily undergo a credit rating activity and get a grade. Now, what is this credit rating? A credit rating evaluates the credit worthiness of a debtor, especially the business company or a government. It is an evaluation made by a credit rating agency of the debtor's ability to pay back the debt and the likelihood of default. Any investor investing money becomes the creditor to a financial institution. So, financial institution becomes a debtor. So, debtor's credit worthiness is most essential for recovery of the finance investments made by the creditors. So, most of the creditors are in need of understanding the ability or credit worthiness of the debtors. Even government is also a part of it, because many a time government will also come out with the debt bonds. Many of the times government will also come with the investment proposals and all that. So public or investing authorities should have a knowledge about the government performance, whether the funds that are being raised by the government in the form of debt instruments, either through RBI or through directly investments proposals to the public. Public should know whether the government is performing well or not. So credit rating is also made for the government investment bonds also. So that is how credit rating is now having a wider scope. It not only covers the financial institutions which are public or private, even the governments are also evaluated. That is called sovereign analysis. Government investment is called as sovereign analysis. So credit ratings are determined by credit rating agencies. Actually, who does this credit rating activity? It is a credit rating agency. These are the expert organizations who can evaluate the credit worthiness of the debtors. So these institutions, these experts, agencies will get involved into credit rating process, and after analyzing all the things about the debtors or financial institutions which come for investment proposals, their abilities are evaluated and graded with the particular symbols. Those symbols and all that we will see in the subsequent lecture series. The credit rating represents the credit rating agency's evaluation of a qualitative and quantitative information for a company or a government, including non public information obtained by the credit rating agency's analysis. In this case, the credit rating organizations not only evaluate the financial strength in terms by you going through the profit and loss account and balance sheet of the organization and collection of funds and all that. Even the attitude of the financial institution as a debtor is also being evaluated through qualitative data. They conduct a survey, they understand the attitude, past records and all that, and based on they declare it. So here in this case, the analysis part of the credit worthiness of the debtors or financial institutions going for investments will be evaluated on two parameters. One is called as quantitative parameter, the another one is called as qualitative parameter. Quantitative parameters talks about the numerical data which is available with the financial institution. Qualitative means other than numerical, they strengths, weaknesses, abilities, performing kind of a things by the opinion of the public, by the opinion of the earlier investors and all that. These things are calculated. That's what we call as qualitative. In this case, the credit rating organizations will have an agreement with the financial institutions. The financial institutions will come forward with their own intention to get a credit, to get rated, and they pay money to the financial agencies, the rating agencies, for undergoing a credit analysis. Credit ratings are not based on mathematical formulas only. Instead, credit rating agencies use their judgment and experience in determining what public and private information should be considered in giving a rating to a particular company or a government. The credit rating is used by individuals and entities that purchase the bonds issued by the company and governments to determine the likelihood that the government will pay its bond obligations. Who is the beneficiary of this rating? It is the investors. If the rating is well, if the debtors rating is good, most of the people will come forward to invest money in this. So the results are more essential for the investors. In order to maintain the what we call as a trust among the individuals, these ratings are being done. A poor credit rating indicates a credit rating agency's opinion that the company or the government has a high risk of defaulting based on the agency's analysis of the entity's history and analysis of long-term economic prospects, which is very essential. Now, this is what we call as credit rating activity. What is credit rating? Credit rating is nothing but a rating of a debtor or financial institutions which comes for the investment options or even the government by a credit rating agency. It evaluates and analyzes the abilities or capabilities of the debtors, the credit worthiness, which is most essential information for investors to invest money. Need for credit rating. Why credit rating is necessary? It is necessary in view of a growing number of cases of defaults. If you see, a lot of financial institutions are going bankrupt, and they are making a default of investments of the investors are losing money because once the credit rating agencies sorry credit and so once the financial institutions misuses the funds and do not get the returns on their business and go bankruptcy, the investors are at the stake. Actually, the investors have to suffer a lot because they have to sacrifice money. There are a lot of cases coming uh, around where the financial institutions are creating defaults. So most of the financial institutions are uh, registered with SEBI and all that, but even then their working performance is not effectively analyzed by SEBI or Reserve Bank of India. Their actual pooling of investments and methodology, the cost involved in managing their funds and all that is not known to RBI, and RBI cannot intervene into their activities on day-to-day basis. So, in spite of having the regulations of SEBI and RBI, most of the financial institutions are going bankrupt and investors are losing money. Therefore, to reduce this, an authority is required to analyze the creditworthiness and declare the credit ability. So, it is left to the option of the investors. If the credit rating is low, even if the investors are investing money, they are responsible for their own defaults. And if the rating is good and investment is made there, the returns will be very high. So that is how, in order to help the investors to understand their investment risk, credit rating is being done. So it is necessary in today's world. So, defaults in payments of interest and investment of principal, some borrow, issue of debentures or preference shares or commercial papers. Before that, credit rating is most essential because investors need to understand whether the past history of the organization is good or not. Because there are number of or new companies are coming out, how the investors will come to know that this company is good? We have more trust on Tata's, Birlas in India, but they are not the only companies. There are many new companies which are coming with the new investments and all that. So these institutions need to create the trustworthy among the investors and attract the investors. So Rating is one of the techniques of creating a trustworthiness among the people. Maintenance of second point why it is needed. Maintenance of investors' confidence, since defaults shatter the confidence of the investors in corporate investments. To create a confidence that rated organizations will perform well. If it is a highly rated institution, it is called as a blue chip institute, in a company where the investments are safe, more safe, like that, they will understand. Because default has been created by most of the financial institutions, offering the public a very good return kind of investments, high returns. Most of the people invested there but lost their money because high returns were attracting points and a marketing gimmicks where the company is unable to generate that much of returns on the investments what they make out of the public money. So that's why many of the organizations uh, went on default. So investors lost their investments. That is why to stop this, credit rating is essential. So it is a kind of protecting the interest of the investors who cannot into merits of the debt instruments. So investors are always not qualified to understand the financial funda of the investing organizations. Therefore, they need some association or organization which will clarify the worthiness of the company where the investors are investing. It motivates and serves savers to invest in industry and trade. It motivates the people to invest money if the invested funds are safe in the market. So, credit rating is essential. What is the objective of credit rating? The basic funda why this credit rating has brought into the system by the country, basically the main objective is to provide superior and low cost information to investors for taking a decision regarding a risk returns trade off, but it also helps to market participants in the following ways. One is improves a healthy discipline on borrowers. The basic objective, first objective is it increases the discipline among the borrowers. When the borrowers are getting the money from the borrowers are the financial institutions which come out with the investment proposals. Even government also a borrower certain times when it is attracting the investments from the public. So improves the healthy discipline of the borrowers is one of the objectives. So when the credit rating is there, the most of the borrowers will try to streamline their borrowings and show the performance to the credit rating organizations to get good credit goals, to achieve the good credit goals and all that. They have to invest in the safe funds, analyze the funds, and come out with more what you call as mm, understanding of the investment markets. So that is how credit rating is main objective. Lends greater confidence to financial and other representatives. It is creating a what you call as a confidence, greater credence to financial and other representatives. Financial and other representatives. Credence will be analyzed. Credence means creditness, credit worthiness. That credence quality is, you see, we call it as a credence quality because this quality cannot be understood by an ordinary man. The credence quality is such that only experts will able to understand. Say, for example, when a computer is not properly working, when if there is any problem in the software or hardware, it cannot be so easily understood by the person using the computer. He needs a technician who is having a credence quality to understand this problem and repair it. Like that, the credit worthiness and kind of things are not commonly known to any public easily. So it requires the what do you call as a knowledgeable person to understand that funda. This is how credit worthiness, credence quality talks about. Facilitates formulation of public guidelines and institutional investments and all that will be taken into consideration. then helps merchant bankers, brokers, regulatory authorities, etc., in discharging their functions relating to debt issues. Relating to debt issues, these kind of things will be taken. Encourages greater information, that is disclosure, that is better disclosure of facts, particular disclosure, better accounting standards, and improves financial information, helps in investors protection. It may reduce the interest cost for highly rated companies. If the highly rated company is there, they can easily get the funds. So interest cost and all that can also be reduced. Acts as a marketing tool. It is one of the marketing tool, because if the rating is high with any banking authorities and all that, they can attract easily the public money because of the high ratings. You may be knowing that even education institutions are also being rated with accreditation processes. If there's a institution is having accreditation process with the A plus, like, so it creates a confidence among the students that the teaching learning process in such institutions are very good and people will come for investments. In the same way, in business organizations also, it is like that. So this much is sufficient for this lecture for series 1. We'll see the remaining aspects in the next class. Thank you, friends. uh, Please read the books also along with this study. Thank you. Good day.